Welcome to Famous People, English Stories. Ready to level up your English? Here we learn through stories slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey.
Stop saying I'm fine or I'm sad. If you only use the same 3 words to describe your feelings, you sound like a robot, not like a native English speaker. Today, I'll show you how to open up your emotional vocabulary and express feelings in a way that's natural, powerful, and unforgettable. Most English learners know the basics: happy, sad, angry, tired. But native speakers rarely limit themselves to these simple words. Instead, they use a rich variety of expressions that paint a clearer picture of how they feel. Think of English like a painter's palette. If you only use black and white, your picture looks flat. But if you add shades of blue, green, red, and gold, suddenly it comes alive. That's exactly what happens when you expand the words you use to describe emotions. Let's start with happiness. Instead of always saying I'm happy, you can say, I'm thrilled. This means you're extremely happy, almost buzzing with excitement. I'm over the moon. This is an idiom, and it paints a picture of someone so happy, it's like they're floating in the sky. I'm content. This word is softer. It means you feel calm, peaceful, satisfied with life, not necessarily jumping with joy but quietly happy. Now compare sadness. Instead of I'm sad, you can say, I'm down in the dumps, a casual phrase that means you feel very low. I'm heartbroken. This is deeper, usually connected with loss or disappointment. I'm gloomy, a word that describes a heavy, dark sadness, like a cloudy day in your mind. Notice how these words give more detail. They don't just label an emotion, they describe the intensity, the situation, and sometimes even the image in your head. This is why natives sound more natural. They don't just name a feeling, they paint it. In this video, we're going to explore feelings across the whole spectrum: happiness, sadness, anger, fear, surprise, and calmness. You'll learn the most powerful and colorful words to describe emotions, the way natives actually use them in real conversations. By the end, you'll not only expand your vocabulary, you'll be able to sound authentic, confident, and fluent when you talk about your feelings. Chapter 1: Happiness and Joy. Words in detail. When we talk about happiness in English, the word happy is just the tip of the iceberg. Native speakers rarely stick to one word. Instead, they use dozens of colorful expressions that show exactly how much joy they're feeling and in what situation. Let's dive deeper. Imagine you've just received amazing news, like getting a job you really wanted. You wouldn't just say I'm happy. A native speaker might say, I'm ecstatic. This word means you are intensely happy, almost overwhelmed with joy. I'm overjoyed. This one suggests happiness that fills you up completely, as if joy is spilling out of you. I'm on cloud 9. An idiomatic phrase that gives a strong picture. You're floating high above the world because of your happiness. But happiness isn't always extreme. Sometimes it's quieter, softer, like the feeling of reading a good book on a rainy afternoon. In this case, natives might say, I'm content. It's a peaceful kind of happiness, not loud or explosive. I feel at ease. This expression shows comfort and relaxation. I'm satisfied. often used when you've achieved a goal or completed something and feel good about it. And then there are those playful, casual ways natives describe joy in everyday life. Let's say someone brings you your favorite dessert unexpectedly, you might say, "I'm thrilled." It suggests excitement as well as happiness. "I'm pumped." This is informal, often used when you're excited about an event or experience. "I'm stoked." A very casual, slangy way of saying you're super excited and happy. Now, here's where the magic happens. When natives use these words, they often connect them to situations, which makes their speech more vivid. For example, instead of "I'm happy," you could say, "I'm ecstatic that I finally passed my driving test." Instead of "I'm excited," try, "I'm pumped about the concert this weekend." Instead of "I'm fine," go with, "I'm content after a long walk in the park." Each of these sentences doesn't just state an emotion, it tells a story. And that's what makes you sound more natural and interesting when speaking English. You're not only giving information, you're letting people feel your emotion through your words. The next time you want to say you're happy, don't just stop at happy. Think, is it calm happiness, explosive joy, or playful excitement? Once you choose the right shade of emotion, you'll instantly sound more like a native speaker. Chapter 2: Sadness and Negative Feelings in Detail. Sadness is one of the most universal emotions, but in English, natives rarely just say "I'm sad." They have a wide variety of words and expressions that capture different shades of this feeling, from mild disappointment to deep heartbreak. Learning these words will not only make your English sound more natural but also help you express yourself more precisely. Let's start with everyday sadness. Imagine you've had a small setback, like losing a game or missing the bus. Instead of "I'm sad," a native might say, "I'm a bit down." This is mild, suggesting you're not in a great mood but not devastated either. "I'm feeling low." Similar to down, but it paints a picture of energy and spirit sinking. "I'm blue." This is an idiom that means you're a little sad, often without a specific reason. Now, when sadness is stronger, the vocabulary changes. Let's say your plans for a vacation were canceled, and you're deeply disappointed. Instead of just saying "I'm sad," you could use, "I'm devastated." This is extreme sadness, like an emotional earthquake. "I'm heartbroken." Often used when love or relationships are involved, but also for big disappointments. "I'm crushed." This suggests that the sadness feels heavy, almost physical. There's also a softer sadness, one that feels quiet and lingering, like a gray sky that won't clear. Words for this include, "I'm gloomy." This suggests a dark, heavy sadness. "I'm melancholy." This word is poetic and means a deep, thoughtful sadness. "I'm sorrowful." A formal word, often used in writing or serious situations. Let's look at some examples in action. Instead of "I'm sad," you could say, "I'm feeling a bit down after that argument." Instead of "I'm very sad," try, "I'm devastated that I didn't get the scholarship." Instead of "I'm unhappy," go with, "I'm gloomy today. The weather really affects my mood." Notice how each of these choices adds color and depth. Saying "I'm sad" is like holding up a simple sign. Saying I'm heartbroken or I'm feeling blue creates a mental image that listeners can connect with emotionally. By learning to describe different levels of sadness, you gain more control over your communication. You can show whether you're just a little upset, deeply grieving, or simply reflective. And this makes your English richer, more accurate, and more relatable. Chapter 3: Anger and Frustration Words in Detail. Anger is a powerful emotion, and in English, natives have dozens of ways to describe it, each showing a different level of intensity. If you only say I'm angry, you miss out on all the shades of meaning that make speech sound natural and expressive. Let's explore this emotional spectrum. For mild irritation, like when your internet is slow or someone cuts in line, natives often say, I'm annoyed. This is a softer way to say you're a little bothered. I'm irritated. Very similar, but it often suggests something keeps repeating, like a buzzing sound or a person talking too much. I'm frustrated. This is used when you try hard to do something but can't, and it makes you upset. For example, I'm frustrated because I can't fix this computer problem. When the feeling is stronger, the vocabulary shifts. Imagine someone insults you or treats you unfairly. Instead of I'm angry, you could say, I'm mad. A very common, casual word for being angry. I'm upset. This word is softer than angry but still shows strong negative emotion. I'm ticked off. Informal, often used when you're clearly angry but not exploding. But when anger reaches a boiling point, natives often choose vivid words that show intensity. I'm furious. Extremely angry, almost shaking with rage. I'm outraged. This word suggests moral anger. You feel something is very wrong or unfair. I'm livid. A strong word that means you are extremely angry, often speechless from the intensity. There are also casual idioms that add color to everyday speech. I lost my temper. This means you couldn't control your anger anymore. I'm fed up. Often used when you've had enough of a situation or person. It drives me crazy. Common for small things that constantly irritate you, like noise or mess. Here are some examples to bring these to life. Instead of I'm angry, say, I'm frustrated that the project keeps getting delayed. Instead of I'm mad, try, I'm furious that they lied to me. Instead of I don't like it, go with, I'm fed up with all the traffic every morning. Each of these choices adds clarity. You're not just saying you're angry, you're explaining how much and why. This gives your listener a vivid picture of your emotions, which makes your English not only more fluent but also more human. Chapter 4: Fear, Worry and Anxiety Words in Detail. Fear and worry are emotions that everyone experiences, but in English, there are many ways to describe them beyond simply saying I'm scared. Native speakers often choose words and phrases that reveal the intensity of fear and the context in which it appears. This is what makes their speech more natural and expressive. Let's start with mild fear or worry. Imagine you have an exam tomorrow or a job interview. Instead of I'm scared, you could say, I'm nervous. This suggests you feel tense because something important is about to happen. I'm uneasy. A soft way to say something doesn't feel right. I'm worried. a very common way to show mild fear or concern. Now, for stronger emotions, where fear begins to control your body, natives often use "I'm anxious." This means you're filled with worry, often thinking too much about what could go wrong. "I'm stressed out." Informal, often used when pressure creates fear or nervousness. "I'm panicking." This shows fear that feels overwhelming, almost uncontrollable. When fear is extreme, like if you see a snake in your house or hear a loud crash in the dark, there are even stronger words. "I'm terrified." Very intense fear, almost paralyzing. "I'm petrified." This literally means turned to stone, showing fear so strong you can't move. "I'm horrified." Strong fear, often mixed with shock or disgust. There are also idioms that add richness. "I got cold feet." This is used when someone is too scared to go through with something, like canceling a wedding or a big speech. "My heart skipped a beat." A way of describing sudden fear or shock. "It freaked me out." Casual and very common, meaning something scared you or made you very nervous. Let's look at some examples in context. Instead of "I'm scared," you could say, "I'm nervous about speaking in front of the whole class." Instead of "I'm very scared," try, "I was terrified when I heard footsteps behind me at night." Instead of "I don't feel good about it," go with, "I feel uneasy about trusting him with this secret." Notice how each phrase not only shows the emotion but also gives detail about the degree of fear. Saying "I'm scared" is flat, but saying "I'm petrified" instantly shows the listener how deeply you feel it. Mastering these words allows you to describe your inner world more clearly. Whether it's nervous butterflies before an exam or intense terror in a dangerous situation, you'll be able to choose the right expression and sound just like a native speaker. Chapter 5: Surprise and Excitement Words in Detail. Surprise is one of the most fun emotions to express in English because natives use so many colorful words and phrases to show how shocked, amazed, or thrilled they are. If you only say "I'm surprised," your English sounds flat. But with the right vocabulary, you can bring your reaction to life and match it to the situation. Let's begin with mild surprise. Imagine a friend shows up with a new haircut you weren't expecting. Instead of just saying "I'm surprised," you could use "I'm taken aback." This means something caught you off guard, even if it's not shocking. "I didn't see that coming." Very natural and conversational, used when an event is unexpected. "I'm impressed." A positive kind of surprise, showing admiration. For stronger, more energetic surprise, natives often say, "I'm amazed." This means you are very impressed and surprised in a good way. "I'm astonished." This is stronger, suggesting you can hardly believe what just happened. "I'm blown away." An idiom that expresses shock mixed with admiration, often used for something remarkable. And then there are those extreme moments when something completely shocks you. In these cases, you might hear, "I'm stunned." This suggests you're frozen, unsure how to react. "I'm speechless." So surprised that you literally can't find words. "I'm flabbergasted." A dramatic, almost playful way to say you are extremely shocked. Surprise can also be negative, like when something shocks or scares you in a bad way. I'm shaken up. This means something startled you and left you unsettled. It startled me. A way to say something scared you suddenly, like a loud noise. I'm in disbelief. Used when something is so shocking you can't accept it's real. Here are some examples in action. Instead of I'm surprised, say, I was taken aback by how confident she sounded in the meeting. Instead of I'm shocked, try, I was stunned when I heard the news. Instead of I'm very surprised, go with, I'm blown away by your progress in English. Excitement, which often goes hand in hand with surprise, also has its own rich set of words. Instead of saying I'm excited, try, I'm thrilled. This combines joy with excitement. I'm buzzing. Informal, showing you have lots of energy because of excitement. I'm on the edge of my seat. A vivid idiom often used when watching a movie or waiting for something suspenseful. By using these expressions, you don't just communicate your surprise, you let others feel the intensity of it. That's what natives do. They don't stop at surprised. They choose the word that paints the clearest picture of their reaction. Chapter 6: Calmness, Peace and Mixed Feelings. Words in detail. Not every emotion is extreme. Sometimes, what we feel is quiet, steady, and balanced. In English, natives often describe this as calmness or peace, and they have many expressions for it. If you only know I'm calm, your English misses out on the richness of describing tranquility and more subtle moods. Let's begin with peaceful feelings. After a long day, you might sit with a cup of tea and say, I feel relaxed. This is the most common way to describe being free from stress. I'm at peace. A deeper expression, suggesting emotional or even spiritual calmness. I'm at ease. Similar to relaxed, but often used to show comfort in a situation or with people. Sometimes calmness is about balance, not too happy, not too sad, just steady. For this, natives use I'm content. A quiet happiness, without needing more. I feel grounded. This suggests being stable, connected, and emotionally strong. I'm centered. Often used when someone feels focused and calm in both body and mind. But what about mixed feelings, the times when we feel calm on the surface but something deeper is stirring? English has great expressions for that, too. For example, I'm bittersweet. This word shows a mix of happiness and sadness at the same time. For instance, finishing school might feel bittersweet. You're happy to graduate but sad to leave friends. I'm conflicted. This means you feel pulled in two directions emotionally, unsure what to choose. I have mixed emotions. A direct way to explain you feel more than one thing at once. There are also idioms that bring these moods to life. If you want to describe being calm and unbothered by stress, you could say, I'm as cool as a cucumber. A playful idiom meaning completely calm, even under pressure. I'm keeping my cool. This means you're controlling your emotions and staying calm in a difficult moment. Nothing phases me. An informal way to say nothing disturbs your calmness. Here are some examples in action. Instead of I'm calm, say, I feel at ease after finishing my work. Instead of I'm okay, try, I'm content with how things are going right now. Instead of I don't know how I feel, go with graduating is bittersweet. I'm excited but also a little sad. These words are important because life isn't always about extremes like joy or fear. Much of the time, our emotions are softer, more balanced, or even mixed. Natives use these subtle expressions to communicate their state of mind more precisely. By learning to describe calmness and mixed emotions, you expand your ability to express yourself fully. You can share not only the highs and lows but also the gentle, in-between spaces where so much of real life happens. And that's what makes your English sound complete and truly natural. Conclusion. So now you've seen how emotions in English are not just happy, sad, angry, scared. They're a whole world of shades, tones, and expressions that make your speech colorful, vivid, and deeply human. Think of emotions as a spectrum. On one end, you have simple words like happy or sad, which are fine for basic communication. But on the other end, you have powerful words like ecstatic, devastated, furious, petrified, flabbergasted, and bittersweet, which allow you to express yourself just like a native speaker. The difference is clear. When you say I'm sad, people understand you. But when you say I'm heartbroken or I'm feeling blue, people don't just understand, they feel your emotion. They can picture it. They connect with you more deeply. And that's the secret to speaking English naturally, not just translating your thoughts into words, but painting emotions with language. Remember, emotions are universal. We all feel them. What makes English special is the way it offers so many tools to describe those feelings with precision. Whether you're telling a friend you're thrilled about good news, confessing that you're terrified of an upcoming presentation, or admitting you feel bittersweet about moving to a new city, the right word can transform your sentence from flat to unforgettable. Here's my challenge for you. This week, pay attention to how you describe your emotions. Instead of always saying I'm happy or I'm sad, pick one new word you learned today and use it in a real conversation, a journal entry, or even a message to a friend. Little by little, these words will become part of your natural English. And here's the best part: the more expressive your vocabulary becomes, the more confident you'll feel when speaking. You won't hesitate, because you'll have the exact word you need to capture how you feel. That's not just learning English, that's living English. If you found this lesson helpful, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future videos on expanding your vocabulary and speaking naturally. Leave a comment below with one new word about feelings that you're going to use today. I'd love to see which ones you choose. And share this video with a friend who's learning English too, so they can unlock the full spectrum of emotions in their conversations. Your words are powerful. Use them to express, connect, and sound like the native speaker you're becoming.